Hope everyone's having a great week. It is Friday. Hope you have some great plans for the weekend before Thanksgiving. And hope you are ready to spend some time with your family, including your old crazy uncles. Don't talk politics over turkey, right? Keep the politics out of Thanksgiving. Okay, so today we will end with a story about the Farm Bill. So it comes from Chris Roberts at MJ Biz Daily, and it's entitled Senate Farm Bill Drafts Signal Bipartisan Desire to Solve the Intoxicating Hemp Problem. There's an intoxicating hemp problem we're going to hear all about from Congress. So Congress will not likely pass the new Farm Bill until, you got it, 2025. When it does, the so-called loophole that has allowed hemp-derived products with intoxicating levels of THC to proliferate across the country over the past 6 years will be closed. That's the understanding on Capitol Hill after U.S. Senator Debbie Stabenow of Michigan released a proposal on Monday that redefines hemp to address the cannabinoids such as Delta-8 THC as well as the so-called THCA loophole. Republicans pounced on Stabenow, the ranking but retiring Democrat on the Senate Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry Committee, for releasing a draft of the Farm Bill 400 days after the 2018 version expired. The bill also comes nearly 6 months after the Republican-controlled House held hearings on its own proposal. With so little time before the Congress is seated in early January, and with major must-bill pass budget amendments on a short agenda, it is hoped that in Washington, D.C., the Farm Bill will be settled in this lame duck session. Instead, the Farm Bill draft is considered an agenda on setting signal. It signals that both parties want to address the hemp question in a way that sellers of hemp-derived THC products might not like. The Republican version in the House includes controversial amendment from U.S. Representative Mary Miller of Indiana that banned hemp-derived THC outright. Stabenow's Democratic Senate proposes that it does not ban intoxicating hemp, but it does restrict it, redefining hemp as having 0.3% or less total THC as opposed to Delta-9 THC. Sounds like the same thing to me. Including tetrahydrocannabinolic acid, or THCA, this molecule right here. While some states define total THC as inclusive of THCA, THC's biosynthetic precursor that becomes psychoactive when heated, 2018 Farm Bill did not make that distinction. That's led to some ambitious operators to sell THC flower as federally legal hemp. Hemp THC to be addressed in the next Farm Bill. So the two Farm Bill drafts means Congress sees fixing the hemp situation as a priority before some other incremental cannabis reforms, such as banking protections, said Shanita Penny, a senior vice president at Forbes Tate Partners and co-executive director of the Coalition for Cannabis Policy, Education, and Regulation. Many states have taken steps to regulate or ban popular intoxicating hemp-derived products, even as the federal status quo remains. It is a reminder that lawmakers are aware of these products that are on the market and have a huge risk to public health and safety, Penny told MJ Biz Daily on Tuesday. Farm Bill proposal also signals it's far less likely that marijuana and hemp will be addressed in a standalone legislation. Instead, Penny added, Congress understands that we have to do what we can do today and that addressing it where it started with the Farm Bill. So, quick article today. I don't know that there's anything new here. We've talked about this on High at 9 News several times before. There is no real THCA loophole, because if you read full language of the Code of Federal Regulations, it does require decarboxylation in the test that's done 30 days prior to harvest. We know in that 30-day period in between they do the testing and in between actually being harvested, that cannabinoid biosynthesis and expression could certainly change in the plant. So what could pass for hemp 30 days before harvest may not pass for hemp right at harvest. But it sounds like we're just approaching this from Farm Bill. Remember that the Farm Bill's regulation ends at harvest. So they're really not addressing the 800-pound gorilla in the room, which is that the FDA has to come up with some regulatory means post-harvest. So even though the plants are called hemp and can be deemed as hemp by having the right numbers in a COA, that doesn't necessarily mean that that CBD can be used to make, intoxicating cannabinoids. And that's basically what's happening now, is the overabundance CBD that's now available as a chemical precursor is being converted into THC, and that's what all this hemp-derived D9 is all about. So they're really not addressing that at all, because if you were to buy like a 12-ounce seltzer or soda that's got 10 milligrams of THC in it, it's an order of magnitude below the concentration that's defined in the Farm Bill, which it's 0.03% THC, but still enough THC to basically get even the average THC user high. So, so you won't see those drinks going away anytime soon. I think they need to have regulation about synthesis and conversion. But it seems as though, again, that's a substantial market that's making a lot of money right now. So I'm not sure that they could snuff it out in the Farm Bill. I think they really have to address this in some regulation or legislation that happens after that hemp is harvested. Because once it's converted into CBD, CBD is just a chemical commodity. Think of CBD as that 5-pound bag of sugar when you walk into the grocery store. It's just a white solid. You have no idea where that white solid's from. It could be from Cuba, it could be from Puerto Rico, it could be from Brazil. You don't know. It's a commodity, right? And at the end of the day, cannabinoid active ingredients are just that, plant-derived commodities, right? So the cheapest source of a commodity is always going to be the winner. And right now, with CBD cratering below $500 a kilo, it's cheaper to make THC from CBD than it is to get a cannabis license, grow some cannabis plants, harvest them, process them into a THC input. It'll roughly cost 5 to 10x more in production cost to make THC that way versus converting it from CBD. So there's a lot of economic incentive to keep things going just the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
That's my story today from the shores of Lake Champlain up here in the beautiful Green Mountain state of Vermont. I wish everybody a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. Spend it with your family. Don't talk politics, and pass the gravy. This is Dr. Mark.
Man,
wise words, Dr. Mark.
Yes, yes.
I have a quick question. I'm sure it's going to open a can of worms here, Dr. Mark, because I do agree with you. I mean, there's no real loophole. It's just people are just letting shit fly right now. But if they're kicking this can down the road even further, what is this? Any predictions on what's going to happen on state level for these states that are trying to ban the sale of
certain
THCA?
states again have basically banned Delta 8 outright, right, and banned synthetic cannabinoids. I think like Colorado, which has a very strong regulated cannabis lobby, has lobbied to make sure that the compounds like Delta 8 and whatnot are basically outright banned because they don't want to lose market share. You know, I think you could look at the general trends of sales in the regulated markets as being impacted in a negative way by the availability of these cheaper and pretty widely available hemp products, hemp-derived products. And I know we have a number of people in our chat who are on the hemp side of things, and you know, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but you know, I know that there's a lot of very important businesses that are operating in this place right now. And in fact, you know, MSOs have now made the, you know, strategic move to try to incorporate, get on this hemp bandwagon. You know,
well, it's the only way to make money nowadays, Dr. Mark. It's the only way to make any money.
There's economic incentives, but I think really, you know, the bigger thing, Jason, is that because hemp is regulated throughout the country, regardless of, you know, bans like Gavin Newsom's ban, it's just a much larger addressable market. And if it's a much larger addressable market, you know, you just have a lot more business to conduct. And you're not just restricted to, you know, doing, you know, marketing and business in a particular state. If you can cross state lines, that's kind of like the nirvana for these types of businesses, right? So well, I think there's, I think there's that, but I think there's also the notion that, again, if you look at the over onerous regulations at the regulated cannabis industry has, they should be basically giving pushback to the state cannabis control boards to say, look, we can't compete with these hemp businesses because we have to have background checks, we have to have security cameras, we have to have everything behind vaults, we have to you know, do all the over onerous stuff. So maybe this is a way to bring parity to the two businesses by maybe introducing a little more regulation on the hemp side in terms of quality control and where these inputs can be made and where they can be shipped, and maybe putting, you know, some type of product specifications. You know, those hemp derived THC products, all without exception, have non-natural isomers that are formed in the chemical reaction that are not in the plant. So we really don't know what the long-term impact is on human health of some of these synthetics. We just don't. Now, are they likely? They're not like fentanyl. Like it's not like you're going to try a Delta 8 pen and drop dead like you would on fentanyl. But there are quite a few documented cases of people getting sick from Delta 8 products, and I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that there are some Delta 8 products that are probably high quality and have probably meet the standard of a regulated cannabis product. But there's probably some other ones that do not. So, you know.
Well, I can tell you this much. I can tell you this much. We just got a super chat in from the Cole Memo who says, "I am LGBTHCA." You guys. Hey. So thank you very much from the Cole Memo for that super chat. We super appreciate that. And I did cover a story similar to this, but it did have no mention in regards. So I'm really glad that you got this story in today, Dr. Mark, in regards to this new draft of the Farm Bill that they are proposing. And I reached out to one of my a lobbyist friends that is an agricultural lobbyist and whatnot, and asked him in regards to what he thought about this and if there was any changes in regards with cannabis. And you know what his response was? He said, "Nothing," and I repeat, nothing is getting passed until January 20th. Of 2025. So this bill, as far as I'm concerned, is dead in the water, is not going to go anywhere, and everything is going to be as is going forward.
So trappers
Yeah, well,
keep
let's
on trapping.
hope that any decisions are made, is in light of not only the economic opportunity that exists. I think we all agree there's incredible economic opportunity, but it's also done with the slant on public safety and public health. And certainly, I think, I'm not saying that anything hemp derived is dangerous. Don't read it that way. But I think we have to show that the products that are being produced in the absence of regulatory authorities are safe for human consumption.
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with how these things are manufactured and processed and the type of facilities that they're made in and whatnot, and which is a perfect time for me to remind everybody that they can go and secure their bag of Parody Gummy over at www.parodygummy.com, which is manufactured in a safe harbor facility. And if you want to see our COAs, they are available to view right on our website at www.parodygummy.com. So go ahead and check them out and secure your bag today.
That's how you bring the issue to parody right there.
Oh, I see what you did there. That was cute. That was yeah, that was cute. That was cute. Machine. Oh man, the call memo in with another super chat. It says, if stores can sell Everclear and other lethal substances, why can't they sell cannabis drinks, edibles, etc., which have no risk of fatal overdose? And follow.
Oh, go ahead. Got another one.
Yeah. We got one more. The C word coming in. He says, Terpnami Seed Market in San Francisco, December 7th and 8th. Good morning, you beautiful and brilliant stoners. Thank you so much, the C word and the call memo. Look at that. 3 big super chats rocking and rolling over here.
And a quick response to you, Cole. Being in Illinois out there, that's the first time I even heard of Everclear and grain alcohol, because we didn't have that in every state. We don't have that in Virginia.
It's ingrained in Illinois culture, Rico.
Yeah, it's not legal in every state. I can't buy Everclear in Washington either. I make tinctures of various kinds. I have to go to, oddly enough, Idaho to get it.
Wait, Rico, the Appalachian Mountains run right through Virginia. You're telling me there's no moonshine in Virginia? What?
There's no Everclear. There's nothing you can buy legally on the shelves. But you can get some bathtub brew wherever you go. You just ask. Every third person.
How about the folks up on Old Rocky Top who get their corn from a jar?
And Jeremy Grove in the chat says, in Charleston, South Carolina, you can get a 5 milligram THC beverage at a sports bar.
Oh, Jesus.
Fair enough.
Oh, man. On that note, thank you all for joining.